I think it is hard, and trust me, it's been hard for me. I like to think that I put myself in a good headspace on a consistent basis, but I have moments where I kind of just break down and I'm like, man, God, why? Like, I don't understand. But those moments are also fine. But just coming back to the fact that God is good, and the tough times don't last forever, and you need the tough times to have good times.
That was Kole Mathison today, back on the Running Effect podcast. Kole is a remarkable athlete from the University of Colorado, where he's one of the top steeplechasers in the country. But right now we're focused on cross country, we're focused on grass. And he's one of the guys propelling Colorado's men's team to be one of the top programs in the country as they search for a podium finish next month in Missouri at the NCAA Cross Country National Championships. But more than that, Kole is a good friend. He's a buddy. And so today's conversation is really, really free-flowing conversation from, Indianapolis sports to Grand Slam to all sorts of different things within the running world, American distance running, where we stand Cole Hocker winning the 5K at the World Championships. And then we dive into Cole's running, and we have a lot of deep, really good philosophical conversations that, if you're an athlete, are going to really challenge your perspective on your grounding within the sport, not putting your full identity in the sport, and a lot of subjects surrounding those type of things. I really enjoyed this one. Cole is wise beyond his years, and we always have such a fun time. They never feel like podcasts. So really appreciate him for coming back on the podcast, sharing so much wisdom, and sharing 50 minutes of his time with me. It was really enjoyable. If you guys enjoy this one, pass it on with a friend. That's the easiest way in which we can grow. Give us a 5-star review. It takes less than 5 seconds to do. And make sure you are following the podcast wherever you listen so you never miss another episode. And with all those notes aside, I hope you all enjoy this conversation with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kole Mathison. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. He put a ring on a girl's finger. He has made a U.S. championship. He's repping the bird from Hocker. He's a proud Indianapolis sports fan, and he's in the thick of the best cross-country season of his life. Kole Mathison, welcome back to the podcast. How you doing, man?
Dude, it's good to be back. Thanks for having me, Dom.
How's that for an intro off the cuff? How'd I do?
Pretty good. I would say definitely not one of the better cross-country seasons for me.
Hey, it's not done yet.
Great.
Come on now.
For the team.
Nationals is when it matters, right?
That's right. No, I'm still hopefully on the come up for sure, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But no, that was a very, very, very thoughtful introduction. I appreciate it.
What are we more excited about, being engaged or having the Colts be 5-1 for the first time in who knows how many years?
6-1. The Colts are
6-1.
6-1, and they're the only 6-1 team in the league. Indiana sports are on the come up. I mean, the Pacers, they made the NBA Finals. Yes, Tyrese went down, and yes, I might have cried. But, overall, Indiana sports are back. I mean, this is like Peyton Manning era type stuff. Like, the Patriots are also, like, we could have an AFC championship with the Colts and Patriots. Like, that's a realistic. Drake May's playing like an MVP. I mean, it's unreal. So I couldn't be more excited to be a Colts fan right now. It's unreal. Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, I should say, is also in the run for the MVP. So yeah, it's a good time to be a Colts fan for sure.
Are we thinking Cameron Todd sleeps in a different Colts jersey or Pacers jersey every night when he goes to bed?
That's highly likely. It could be a common occurrence for that man.
Do you watch Pat? We've definitely talked about this, but do you watch Pat McAfee at all regularly?
I do. I will say I've gotten to the point where I'm watching him live. I used to watch just the replays on YouTube, but now it's like, man, every week he's just saying the Colts are going to the Super Bowl, and that's all I need to hear.
That's all I need to hear. I was going to ask you if you've seen the new segment, the first 15.
It ends up being 40 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. For the listeners home, Pat McAfee, top sports podcaster. And he does this segment every Monday after the NFL games happen on Sunday, where it's the first 15, which is like 5 storylines in 15 minutes, which ends up being 40 minutes. And the first storyline every single week is Colts are going to win the Super Bowl.
Not going. They're going to win the Super Bowl. That's what it is. It's awesome.
So funny. Do you know where their studio is, or do they keep that pretty under wraps?
It's in Indianapolis, but I don't know like specifically where in Indianapolis. Because anytime that like top celebrities or whoever are coming through Indianapolis, like that, he tries to get them on the show. I know he got Tom Cruise on there recently because he was in town. But yeah, it's cool just to see his show continue to grow. He's an incredible personality. He's hilarious. So, and then even with like College Game Day, like that stuff is awesome. So, yeah, it's cool that he's from Indiana, and I say he's the greatest punter, to ever do it, which is 100% bias. But it is cool that he's a Colts fan and he's kind of promoting Indianapolis as a sports city because I think it is one of the more underrated sports cities. Like we hosted, I guess more as a state, we hosted the entire NCAA basketball tournament in COVID, and so it's like we have I think 9 of the top 10 biggest high school basketball arenas in the state of Indiana, and so
Wow.
it's like dude, Indiana's a great sports state, and I think people don't realize that. But Indianapolis as well has NCAA headquarters. It has USATF headquarters, so the infrastructure's there,
Boo, boo.
and they can host a lot of big sporting events. When they hosted the Super Bowl, it was regarded as one of the most like the best Super Bowl host cities because even though it's cold, we have a lot of skywalks in Indianapolis where you can literally walk 3 miles without going outside, just going from
Whoa.
building to building, going to the mall and wherever you need to get to. So it's pretty cool. It is.
So that's why they decline my USA's credential every single year that I apply for one, despite having one
Dude,
of the biggest running accounts in the
I'm
space.
not I'm not trying to defend USATF here. I mean, there's still some things that they need to work on for sure. But they need to get my boy right next time. That's for sure.
We might go 0 for 3 next year, but we'll try. I'm actually quite excited for US champs next year because there's no world championships or Olympics, which I
Yeah.
think will be really, really fun, and I think put more emphasis on the meet. Going back though, I do want to ask you, like, how high do you think a runner would have to get for Pat McAfee to have him on the show? I'm a little surprised Cole Hocker,
Mm,
after winning the Olympics,
dude,
being an
because he's
Indiana
from
boy.
Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if there's a certain level of clout that you would have to get invited as a runner on the show. It
Well,
would have
shoot.
to be Indiana, I feel like, and
Yeah.
that's where I
Well,
think Cole Hawk would be the perfect fit.
exactly. You would think, yeah, man. I didn't even think about that, but that would be awesome if he had Cole Hocker on the podcast or the show. Because I mean, that'd be great for the sport too. I mean, because he gets so much exposure. So if he could get Hawker on there, that'd be unreal. And I don't know why he wouldn't too. I feel like he would totally buy into that. Because Cole Hawker is, I mean, he's in his prime right now, and his popularity is through the roof. Yeah, what he did at World Champs this year was awesome. I think the DQ is like it's hard. People have differing opinions, and
Free my boy.
yeah, he was, trying to.
Here's what I'll
It
say.
was
Am I
close.
biased American? If it was some Kenyan, would I care? No, I wouldn't. I'll be honest. Would not care. Am I biased American? Absolutely.
Yes,
With that
I
said,
wanted him in the final, dude. And after watching the final, dude, he would have won that easily. Like
well,
I don't
also,
know.
dude, it's the ref conversation in big games. You don't necessarily always call the PI or
Yeah,
you let him play, and I
yeah,
don't think it was egregious enough. What sucks is like, who was it? Farkin?
Farkin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
mean,
like that guy was not going to make it anyways.
no, he was going backwards, and I think I Robert is awesome. He's a great dude and incredible talent, and I think yeah, he totally deserved to be in that final. But yeah, he was definitely tying up, I think, towards the end, and Cole could have definitely like thrown him off his momentum a little bit because Cole did kind of like weasel his way through there, but yeah, it's just hard. It's hard defending Olympic champ. You're gonna DQ him on that. It's hard. And there are some angles that make it look like he didn't really do much.
I don't think he did. I mean, you put that
Yeah.
on a cross course, and it's like fair game.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I do think Cole could have done a better job of like
oh,
not
hundred
putting
percent. He
himself in
was
that
dumb for he was
position.
dumb for being there in the first place.
But he does love to ride the rail, and he almost always finds his way through. Like even at the Olympics, when he got like Jakob kind of cut him off coming off the turn, and he had to like kind of slow up, and then he
Yeah, he
got
did
his
have to slow up.
momentum back.
Yes, yeah,
That
that
was
was
probably
crazy.
the most impressive thing about that race was the fact that he was able to slow up and then gain momentum again to outkick world like Jakob and Yared and Josh Kerr. Like that's crazy. So man, he's something else. Yeah,
It
and
was it
it's
was
unreal.
funny. I was racing my second marathon, the morning that Cole won, and People can hate me for this. Absolutely. I deserve all the hate. Yes, I'm a hobby jogger. Yes, you could call me an influencer. Yes, I run with my phone and check Instagram and respond to work texts and emails during my marathons 100%.
No way,
So I went on Instagram and I just saw like a Tracksta, like Hocker wins like
dude.
12:58. And I
Yeah.
was like, it was literally mile 2, I think. And I was running with one of my buddies,
Oh,
Jacob
early
Moon.
on. Yeah.
And I was like, no way, we're going for sub 3 today. Like, I was like,
We gotta
momentum
start
boost.
moving.
I couldn't believe it. Genuinely, I
Yeah.
did not think he was going to win the 5K because he
Well,
never.
especially
I thought it was luck that he got in the team just based on how tactical USA's was.
yeah. Well that was the thing is that if it's an honest race, like if it is sub 13, like the winner's gonna be sub 13, then can he hang with that and be able to have a kick at the end to compete for a medal, let alone the win, but a medal. And dude, unreal. I mean, the fact that he hung in, he was what, in 10th with a lap to go, and then just
I was running
surged
a
around.
marathon. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. That was insane. So
Well,
yeah,
his
that was
PR
probably
is
one of
low
the
12:50s.
yeah,
So it's crazy. He ran 12:58
dude.
championship
Yeah,
tactical style. That's
no,
where these guys who are not quite 8 guys, but they're not quite 5K guys fascinate me in the 5K. And I
yeah,
feel like Jakob right now, that's how I feel with him in a 10K. I'm like, put that guy in a 10K. Um,
yeah.
what sucks, dude, is I'm curious your take on this as
Mhm.
a top American. Like, what happened between last year Olympics when we were on top of the world in every event to then this year? We, outside of Hocker, I don't know if we medaled at all in the 15, 5K, 10K.
No,
We
because
didn't. We didn't have 5K or 10K, and Hocker was only.
yeah, yeah, because I mean, I remember. Well, at least I don't know difference between Olympics and World Championships, but for the Olympics, I mean, dude, Fisher getting a bronze medal at the Olympics in the 5 and the 10, like that was nobody, like an American had done in a long time, if at all. I don't know. It's been a while, but yeah, I mean, in the World Champs, Hawker to win the 5K first since Legat. I think Legat did it in what, '07, I believe. So yeah, I mean, American distance running, I think we're catching up to the East Africans, which is crazy. Because they've just dominated the distance events for so long. I mean, even including the 1500, which is more mid distance. So it's super cool to see. I mean, even at the Olympics last year, we went 135 in the 15 at the Olympics. So yeah, Americans are on the up, and yeah, it doesn't seem like yeah the gap is just so much smaller, and it's not just the Americans, even other nationalities. You know, you see guys. I mean, shoot, the Frenchman, Gressier, like, dude, winning the
That was
10K,
crazy.
unreal. I mean, I just feel like there's not a favorite. I mean, obviously, Jakob is like, I would say, the best in the world when he's healthy, and so he just got kind of a bad string of luck with the world champs this year. But there's just so many guys that could, if they have the day, they can just win, and I think that's cool. That there are probably 6 to 7 guys in the championship races that can realistically put on a performance to win. So it's pretty cool.
I have 2 theories for Americans. One, I think Grand Slam screwed so many people over, not
Oh,
just in all the
dude.
ways people know about, but I think athletes
Yeah.
didn't quite know how to peak for the end of season when it was so
Yeah.
far out because
Hmm.
Grand Slam was so early. There was so much money on the line. It was the first season, so they probably wanted to get invited back next season, not knowing everything that would happen. But it was
Yeah.
also like close enough to the indoor season that I would love to talk to some coaches who had athletes in Grand Slam because it was a really weird thing to get right. So I think a lot of people like
Hmm.
peaked at weird times that messed with them. And then the second thing is I think the US to make a US team, honestly, is debatably just as hard. Like I think in the men's 100, it's like harder to make our team than it is to medal at a global championships. Maybe a hot
Yeah.
take. I think it's true. I think we have
No.
people who place fourth and fifth every year who would medal any other year. So I
Yeah.
think those two things, it's just so hard to keep your season riding that high for that long.
Yeah. Yeah. Grand Slam was, I had such high hopes. I wanted it to work out just because, that kind of payment has never been in the running world. And publicity and just everything about it, what they were trying to do. But it just, man. did not come together. And then, yeah, being at US Champs and like, I mean, you were there and everybody was talking about like August 1st, it's coming around. We're supposed to get paid. And people were like, I don't think it's going to happen. And like Fisher before his race, like he was asked about it and he was like, yeah, I mean, obviously I hope that they get the payments through, but if it doesn't, like, that's gonna suck. And then they didn't pay everybody, and now it's this whole fiasco. And yeah,
Well,
I mean,
apparently they
it's
paid half now. But my thing is, even
yeah,
if they
there's
get the
like
funding,
emergency
there's
funding, yeah, something
yeah,
like
even
that.
if they pay them in full, there's no way these athletes are going to re-sign, and there's no way that
That's what
I
I'm
think they're
saying. It's
done
just like
for.
I don't think you can come. Can you come back from this? I mean, there's a lot of trust that has been lost now, I feel like,
Totally.
and I also just did not understand their locations and like Jamaica didn't make any sense. I felt like just because, yeah, I'm sure there's fans in Jamaica for sure, but that stadium is massive and they barely filled it. I mean, I don't know how many people ended up being there, but it looked empty and kind of depressing almost. Like I mean, and you look at the Diamond Leagues in Europe, and those stadiums are similar size, and it's packed. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like there's so many
Well, when
people
I
there.
watch, I only watched like 5 minutes of the Grand Slam over all three. I only watched 5 minutes. It was the 5K
Yeah,
in
I didn't
Jamaica.
watch a ton either.
It
I
was
think
like
the
a
only ones I watched
14:30
were
race.
Jamaica. Yeah.
14:30 race, stands were empty, and I was like, this feels like a watered down Diamond League, and the whole point is that this is supposed to replace the Diamond League. I was like, no way
Yeah.
this happens. So I remember saying early
Yeah.
on podcasts, I hated on it, and people would DM me and be like, oh bro, you're like, and I was like, look, good for them for trying and being innovative, but I can
No,
share my
yeah, you
opinion that
want
I
to see
think
it
it's gonna
succeed,
fail.
but it
Yeah.
just like you want
I
to see
knew
it
it'd
succeed.
fail.
Yeah,
It
but it's
was
just
it was
like
way too weighty of a proposition. The other thing that
yeah.
was weird was it almost felt like they should have delayed starting until like 2026. It feels like they
Mm,
started with things
it did
like
happen
kind of
fast.
on the line. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I don't think they had things figured out. I've heard reports they got shady money to get things kicked off the ground, which is why investors backed out. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, if you
yeah.
had your ducks in a row going into it, like do that. Like don't it's like throwing an athlete who's injured into some VO2 max work. It's like you're probably cooked, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to get injured.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think they should have yeah, if you're going to use the training analogy, like built a bigger base early on and not like run straight into things, like run straight into VO2 workouts and races when like you've been training for a couple months. Like they needed to take, I think, at least a couple years to really figure it out because it is a big. What they were trying to do is huge, and I think track recently has been on the up and up, and I think they were trying to capitalize on like the rising popularity. But
But their model made it more confusing to me. I was like, the Diamond League makes more sense to me.
yeah, yeah, that was the other thing is like trying to figure out the format and how it all flowed and stuff. Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't really watch much of the Grand Slam that was in Pennsylvania, but I heard that was probably the best one that they had. I think the one in Miami was smaller. It seemed the venue was just smaller, so yeah, it looked like it was more packed out. But um, yeah, just and then they had to cancel the last slam, and I mean, yeah, because they didn't have the money. But yeah, it's just all around interesting how that all played out, and I hope all the athletes get paid out as soon as possible. Obviously, that's, the most important thing. That's the priority before they even think about trying it again. I mean,
Right.
I don't even think that's possible. Like I
No.
can't see it. So, yeah.
When they announced like Michael Johnson's statement on Instagram, it was so funny. I try to be pretty public with my views because I feel like a lot of people in these seats can want to please everyone. And sure, I'm sure I fall into that sometimes, like wanting to be buddy buddy with people. But I was
Yeah.
just like, I said this was going to fail from the beginning. I feel justified. I think they screwed over athletes who I'm friends with and appreciate. And so they came out with this
Yeah.
big post with like 7 slides of a public statement from Michael
Yeah.
Johnson. And I literally
Dude,
just I
a
commented.
lot.
I was like, ready for the who else is ready for the class action lawsuit? And people
Yeah.
in the comments were going crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
look, I don't care if it bang like I am so big on justice for athletes in this sport. Like you
Hmm.
guys don't get paid enough. we finally
Yeah.
have something that is like somewhat promising. I
Yeah.
knew it would fail when they were thrown out. Then I was like, "There's no way you have the
It's a
capital.
lot.
There's
It's a
no
lot of
way you
money.
guys are making this much to pay out.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like, there's no way the numbers add up." And so then when it came out that they were failing, I was like, "Okay, this makes way more sense." And that was, dude,
Yeah.
that was just prize money. That wasn't even. Can you imagine how much
I
they paid to sign
know.
Sydney or
Yeah.
Gabby?
Because yeah, there were the contracts themselves to even get the athletes. So yeah, dude, the amount
Whoever's
of
running their
money.
books, God bless them.
Oh my gosh, dude. They're definitely like stressing out trying to figure out how to yeah, dude, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess.
Speaking of, we were talking about workouts like a few weeks into the season. Did you ever have a teammate back in high school who like would just try to get in way too fat, like just didn't like easy runs, so they were like ripping 200s on the track like 2 weeks in? That was always the case for me.
Yeah, I mean there were definitely I think guys on our team that were more or less workout warriors. And so they would work out incredibly well, and then you get to races and you'd be like, well, they're working out this well, but then the race performance is not really reflecting that. So, and I think that happens a lot more in high school than you would think. I don't think that's like, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a bad thing. I think high schoolers, it's like you can't expect them to do everything perfectly. So it's hard. You see people doing that, and you're like, oh, dude, like you're kind of crushing these. Like you should probably back off a little bit because you know you look tired in the races. But yeah, it's hard. High schoolers are kind of gonna do whatever they want and think is best for them sometimes. But no, I think yeah, it's yeah, high schoolers again, just kind of wild sometimes.
Dude, we've been talking for 20 minutes. Have not gotten to really any real substance, but this is all fun. It does remind me, I'm like, I've actually thought of this idea, so I'll put it out there publicly. People can comment if they would watch or listen. I love conversations with athletes I know like you, and I'm like, this would be perfect if I did like a weekly or monthly like live stream that's on like YouTube, Instagram,
Yeah,
TikTok, where it's literally just talking about kind of not the state of the sport, but different subjects within it. Um,
yeah,
I feel like people could really get behind like a fun because we don't really have a Pat McAfee type. Like, imagine you get two buddies, we
yeah,
make it segmented for an hour.
dude.
We're taking questions from like a Twitch type thing. I feel like it would be really fun.
I know because sometimes Pat McAfee he'll like he'll have segments where they take like posts on social media or like tweets or whatever um and like comment on them. Like somebody has a take like, dude, Colts are gonna win Super Bowl. And then they and then the random person says like why. Like Jonathan Taylor's having an MVP season. Daniel Jones is also like they got two MVP caliber players and they got no weaknesses on. And then and then they talk about it and yeah, I think it'd be cool to like have people yeah leave comments or yeah posts and we did just talk about them like hash it out and all the current events happening in the sport of track and then obviously like right now it's kind of on the pro side a dead period there's not a lot going on but dude that would be sweet I think a lot of people are
Maybe
getting into
this was
that
the start of something.
dude could
We'll
be
see. Well, I feel like they're like Let's Run as the weekly. They break down all the news. Sidious tries to do the same thing. I don't know how well
yeah
they do it. I can't say I've ever listened to any. I just see it pop up on the podcast feed. Enough said
yeah
there. But I don't
yeah
know of a show that like does it with athletes where it's like, yeah, again,
hmm
imagine you and like a few buddies, or and then the next week it goes to a different team or like a few professional runners,
yeah
and you're just talking shop, and it could be live, but then you could also like re-release it later on the podcast feed for people who missed it.
Yeah, and that's
I
what I
think it'd
like
be really
about Pat
cool.
McAfee is that yeah, he does do it live. But then you can just go back and watch it if you didn't watch it live. Post on YouTube and all that stuff. So yeah, dude, bring that to running. That'd be pretty sweet.
We'll see. What I the funniest is when he opens the show, he always has the classic like 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
We love football. I
I know
never understand it.
they have their little things that they're all in on, and it's
What?
yeah, they're just like they're having a good time, bro.
You know who I want to find because he lives in Columbus, I think. AJ Hawk.
Yes,
Because
dude.
they'd say he records from his like basement cellar or whatever, an
Yeah,
upstairs.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the cigar. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just chilling.
That's where I'm like, dude, there's no way that this could be good for you. Smoking a
Yeah.
cigar every single day in your house. I feel like his wife is probably pissed at him. Whole house
Yeah.
smells like cigar smoke. So funny. So funny. And
Dude,
then the
too
best is
good.
like they have all the producers. So I feel like they have every team covered. So anytime a team gets brought up, they're all pretty passionate.
Yeah, because even they'll shift the camera to the producers. Like one of them's a Lions fan, and yeah, a couple other ones will chime in whenever like their team is mentioned. Because yeah, it's like Boston Connor loves the Patriots, and then Pat loves the Colts, and then D-Butt he played for the Colts. But yeah, I think it's fun. And then one of
Ties
the guys
Packers.
ties Packers. Yep,
Have you ever seen
exactly.
him do the Lou Holtz impersonation?
Dude, it's hilarious. It is hilarious. It's
Did
awesome.
Did you ever see him do it with Ryan Day last year and Marcus
No,
Freeman? Oh, well, because
no.
you know how Lou Holtz and Ryan Day had their scuffle before the Notre
Yeah,
Dame, and then
yeah,
Ryan Day gave the post game speech of like, we're proud to be from Ohio. It's always been Ohio against the world.
yeah,
We'll continue. And so they always have media day going into um um the national championship with like all the top shows.
yeah.
Um I'll play this. We'll see if we'll cut this if you can't hear it, but this is so funny.
Before we get you out of here, there is somebody that has a question, though.
I'm sure I know what this is happening right now. These guys got to set me up right here. You guys ain't getting me with this again.
Coach,
No.
come on over here.
You've already got me with this a couple times.
Coach, come here.
Listen, Coach Jay, I'm going to start with you, okay? Do we need to take this to a back alley or something?
You are on.
Listen,
You guys realize that, right? You guys are out of your minds.
So funny.
Dude,
He's
that's
like,
awesome.
Ryan Day's so uncomfortable. He's like, you guys are out of your minds.
As soon as he
So-
walked into the room, like Ryan Day's like, no way. Like, you guys aren't serious, right?
Anyways, on to more serious subjects. Cross country, how we feeling? How's the season been going? How's training been going? Where's the mind at? Where's the body at?
Yeah, no, I mean, overall, it's been a great season so far for the team. And I think we knew coming in that we could be a great team. I think we had such a great summer, and just having a full year under Carlson's training. Because I mean, dude, last year we had a whole summer where we literally didn't have a coach because it got announced that Wetmore wasn't coming back like early June, like right after NCAA's it was announced. And so then it was like, okay, are we gonna get a new coach? And they were like, yeah, but it's we got to open up the process. We got to do interviews, and so we're like, okay, so when are we getting a coach? And like, earliest is gonna be like late July maybe. And so we're like, shoot, dude, we got to go like a whole summer without a coach. And so I think last year we were kind of on the back foot because Carlson didn't get here till like August. And so yeah, just having a full year of training and his methodologies, and which has been a lot different than Wetmore, and I think in a lot of ways in a good way. Um, yeah, like just a lot of aerobic based stuff, and a lot of good things that just I think feel like have helped prevent injury. I think we've allowed ourselves to stay a lot healthier. And when you are healthier, you're able to stack months on months and weeks on weeks, and that's huge. Like just being able to train without injury for a prolonged period of time does wonders for your aerobic system. And so, having that going into this year, having a summer where we've been doing double T all summer and building that base has allowed us to, I think, succeed on a much higher level. And we just have a lot of guys too that are firing on all cylinders. I think Missouri was a great day for us in the sense that we had by far the best seven spread. Like we had Dom got I believe fifth in the race, and he had a great day. But then the rest of our guys were just like right there with each other, spanning from 15th to 45th or something. I mean, we were all right there. So just having a bunch of guys like where if one guy has a bad day, there's another guy there to step up. Like we have great depth, and the culture. I mean, Carlson preaches a lot about culture, and we've got a great one right now. I think everybody's on the same page. We're all picking each other up, and encouraging each other in the right areas. And so, yeah, when you've got a bunch of guys that are all bought into the same thing and doing all the right things, all the little things, post run stretching, and anything personally that you need to do to get your body firing on all cylinders, like everybody's doing the little things. And I think that wasn't necessarily something that we had my freshman year. And so, yeah, I can just feel the culture shift, and it's been so positive, and the results are showing. I mean, we're back in the top 5 in the country, where Colorado should be and should have always been, and so that's super exciting. And I cannot wait for the rest of the season, because I think we're ready to do some special things for sure.
You seemed low on the season thus far when we opened this thing up. How do you feel? Where are you at? And if you aren't feeling good about it, what's your plan to steer the ship in the right direction in the final few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, obviously, I would love to be in a better spot. I haven't been able to run it with the A squad yet, and there's a lot of different contributing factors to that. Just without, yeah, I haven't been 100% healthy, um, and so just working through those things and trying to rectify them as quickly and as efficiently as possible, has just kind of been where I'm at right now. And yeah, ran Nuttycombe, and a lot of things went well, and but there were just some things towards the end of the race that popped up, and that I'm still working through. It's been just some things that have been an issue in the past, that I haven't quite figured out, and so trying to pull some more strings and get that rectified. But yeah, got another chance at conference, and hoping to put on a good enough performance to, yeah, try and move on to regionals with the guys, and on to nationals. That's always the goal. But I'm encouraged that, even if that doesn't work out for me this year, our team is in a position where we're going to succeed, no matter what, I feel like. And so obviously I want to contribute to that. I mean, I'm a competitor, and I'm going to do everything in my power to close out this season strong, even though it hasn't gone the way that I necessarily would have wanted, so far. But yeah, I'm excited for what's to come. Definitely disappointed for my personal performance so far, because I know I can do better. I expect myself to be better. But for me, it's not the end all be all. And I love running, and it's a huge part of my life. But I have my hope in other things, and that's Jesus Christ. And so being able to have that, when running isn't, going the way that I would like, is always encouraging. And so the fact that, that's where I'm rooted at, and something I can always fall back to, is yeah, encouraging. So
What advice would you have for people who are maybe in a similar position or similar enough position that you can speak into, where they're doing the races, they still have those goals and those dreams in mind, but if you talked to them a few months ago, they would have hoped maybe the journey and path would have looked a little bit differently, and so they're maybe discouraged a little bit in the day to day. How do you
mhm.
get back on track in those moments where you don't quite have the results on paper to back up the confidence that you have in your mind?
Yeah, I think it's hard, because everybody's going to go through, you know, trials and hardship, and things are never going to go according to plan. And for me, I think the Bible says that plainly in a lot of places, that we, even as believers, it's like you're going to face hardship. It's not like if you put your faith in Jesus, he's going to make your life all sunshine and rainbows. It can be the opposite sometimes. But the encouraging thing is, and I've been reading through Psalms, and read Psalm 34 recently, and in there it says, like, yeah, believers, we have hardship, and we're going to go through it, but the Lord delivers us every time, through those hardships, and sometimes he's not going to deliver you in the way that you would want, but he always will, and it's for your betterment, I firmly believe. And so, yeah, it's just when you're in those moments, doing all the things that you can to put yourself in the best position possible. But at the end of the day, there are things that are out of your control. And I think for me, like recently, there have just been things that are out of my control. And that's hard, to like sit with, because, I think people in general in life want control over a lot of things. And so having the wisdom to try and relinquish control on certain areas of my life where it's just not up to me, and lifting those things up to God, letting him handle it, because I do believe that he will deliver me in some way at some time. And, that could be a lot further down the road than I would like, but I trust that, he has a better plan for me. And so I would encourage others to, try and, pray and meditate on those things, and come to terms with it, because I think it is hard. And trust me, it's been hard for me. I like to think that um, I put myself in a good headspace on a consistent basis, but I have moments where I kind of just break down and I'm like, man, God, why? Like, I don't understand. But those moments are also fine. But just coming back to the fact that God is good, and the tough times don't last forever, and you need the tough times to have good times. So if everything is good, you wouldn't know what good is, because you wouldn't know the hardship. So yeah, I'm excited to see what God has for me down the road, because I have a lot of faith that he'll deliver me for sure.
Cool. There's this quote I came across maybe earlier this year, end of last year, that wrecked me. And anytime I see it, it wrecks me. It's so simple, to the point. It's, you've already achieved goals you said would make you happy.
Mm,
And every time I look at that, I'm like, damn it, got me. Because it's so
so
true. Like,
true. Oh, it's so true.
yeah, when there's just a constantly moving goalpost. And so we assume on the other end of our current goals is happiness and fulfillment, but then we achieve those things and then it's the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah.
And that's why, obviously for you and I, we have a shared faith in Jesus. So for us, it's relationship with Jesus is where we find our fulfillment. And I believe that's the only place where you can find true fulfillment. But, for the
Yeah.
listener out there, it's like, even if you don't believe in Jesus, just don't put your whole worth into performances, or don't think it's
Hmm.
going to make you fulfilled. Because think back to the
Yeah.
past, you've achieved things you said would make you fulfilled or happy, or you
Exactly.
thought would be the end all be all. In middle school, it was like a 10-point basketball game, or breaking
Yeah.
5 minutes on the mile, or and then
Hmm.
you do it and you're doing 5-minute miles and tempo runs. And it's just like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Things just keep going. And yeah, you posted on your story within the last 24 hours. I saw talking about this, yeah, you get the things where you have a nice place to live, you have a nice car, you have a steady job. Like, once you dream about having those things, then you get them. And I think in a lot of ways that's been for me, like, dude, having an NIL deal with Hoka, like, I've always wanted to be in some way sponsored by a brand for running. Like, that was a dream, and now I have that. And you know yeah, it's great, but it's not where I find my happiness and my joy. Like, there's always the next step. Like, now, I want to succeed for Colorado, obviously, and I want to continue to push my limits at the NCAA level, and then hopefully run professionally. But even if I get to those points, like, if I do sign a pro contract, I know that, like, okay, the next step is
make an Olympic
perform on
team and then medaling.
perform on the
Yeah.
pro team, like, win USAs, or like make a US team, and like, yeah, qualify for Worlds and Olympics. And then it's like there's always something more. And then even, yeah, and I would love to hear, I feel like Cole has a great perspective on things. I think, even him winning 2 global gold medals now, like, I'm sure that he's not, like, satisfied now. He's still, I'm sure, is left wanting more. And I think if you ask anybody, you can ask a lot of pro athletes, like, do you feel like happy and fulfilled with where you're at in your career? Like, is that what has brought you happy? I don't think they would say yes. I think
Dude, I don't know if I know of
it.
any who left their career in
Yeah,
a good spot.
exactly. So
Or
I just think,
actually, truly, like, I think a lot of athletes lie on podcasts or interviews quite frequently about like how much they're
sure.
genuinely enjoying the sport or how much fulfillment they
Yeah.
find from it. And I'll be honest, performance-based careers, I don't think it's really possible to be happy or fulfilled in while you're in it. I think it's possible
Hmm.
if you have something outside of it which grounds you.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why I think being on a collegiate team is one of the best things you can have. That's why I think if you work with a remarkable team, like for me,
Hmm.
something I'm trying to do is like, who can I surround myself with in this to make it a little more enjoyable and fulfilling?
Hmm.
Like, I even told you, bringing Pierce out to New York City to shoot photo, like that was immediately made it more fun.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the whole point of running is self-improvement, and that's a never-ending game. The whole point of
Yeah.
this, I could justify to myself as like impact, and on the other end of that is like reaching more people and more people. But it's like, at
Hmm.
what point is enough people, because 5 years ago I would have been shocked that I'm sitting here today. So that's where I think it matters to be really grounded. I even, like, Foot Locker used to be with Hoka, and that was like a big source of income for me, because we just did a lot around the South Regional, the national media podcast series leaning into it.
Yep.
And when that got stripped away from me, I was like, man, I realized that I've been probably chasing money too much, because this feels like such a hit. And am I doing that? I never wanted to do this for money. And so why do I feel like this is like such a gut punch? I think that was really reframing for me of like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? And it's for a runner, I think the perspective would be like, if you're only running just for PRs or for national championships, inevitably the day-to-day journey isn't going to be as fulfilling, because it's just it's 1% of people who actually have those days that feel like they're gonna, it's just hard. Running is too hard of a sport to always have your best day.
Yeah. I think that's so good. I think just being on the team, and having relationships and just the social aspect of running is probably my favorite part. And just the fact that you get a whole bunch of dudes from different backgrounds, and like on paper it shouldn't work, it shouldn't mesh, but just getting to know everybody, and like putting aside differences, and like having moments where things aren't pretty, like we get after each other, things are tense, especially during workouts, things are said, but we move on from those things, and we come together after them. And I think that's a beautiful, I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. And my teammates know better than anybody that I'm a very imperfect individual, and I'm still working on being the best person I can be. And I think that goes for everybody on the team. We recognize that. And I think it's just fun being part of a group like Colorado. I think we have just such a fun environment, and it's the relationships formed that I think matter more so than the success. Obviously, we do want to perform, and we want to, represent Colorado well, and just the history. I mean, there has been so much success, and we want to continue that. But you carry these relationships with you for a long time. Like, college is a very formative time in your life, and so I think that's definitely, like you said, it's so much more important than PRs and performance, is just the relationships formed, and making it through, the hard times, and the good times, and just coming together as a unit. It's something special, and that's what I value in running, is the social aspect. Like, I say all the time, I don't typically enjoy running by myself. I think it's good every once in a while, but I'll take running with a group any day of the week over running with my just my own thoughts. That can be a dangerous thing sometimes. So
How do you balance having these thoughts about sustainability and fulfillment, and why you do the sport, in a sport that's hyper fixated on results, from a media perspective, from a brand perspective, from a coaching athlete scholarship perspective? They all expect one thing, but that one thing probably isn't in line with the sustainability and the fulfillment discussion.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's a hard balance, because especially in the NCAA today, and just how it's changed so much with revenue sharing and what that looks like. I mean, some schools have like lost scholarship. Like, I think it used to be across the board, it was like 12.6 scholarships on the men's side, and like 18 something on the women's side. And now, like, some schools have less than 12 and a half scholarships. Some schools, like, it's a 17-man roster, so they could have up to 17 full if they have that kind of money. But it's just like the money is more, there's just more weight to it now. Like, I think, for high schoolers coming into college and getting recruited, it's probably harder now than ever to get like a substantial amount of scholarship going into your freshman year, because I think a lot of coaches are going the route of like giving athletes a 2-year deal instead of like a 4-year deal. Like, 4-year deals are not like a necessity anymore. It's like, okay, like I'll give you this much for your first 2 years, and if you're performing how we hope you are performing after 2 years, then we'll continue and reward you for that down the road. But yeah, it's just like I think coaches are gonna have to get a lot more creative with those things, and with that comes the pressure. And there's a lot of it now in the NCAA for running, and yeah, it is hard to balance that stability of life and not getting too caught up in the results, even when they do matter a lot. I think more now than they have in the past, and so yeah, it's and I can't say I have it figured out. I think I'm in the midst of it right now. I need to be performing better, like just for where I'm at, and like I feel that, and that's hard because I want to be in a better spot, but yeah, then just coming back to like it's not the end all be all. Even when a lot of people probably would tell you like you gotta be better, like you just have to be. And I believe me, I want to right now, and that's hard. So, yeah, there's never going to be a perfect answer. But I think being honest about just where things are at with yourself and just doing the best you can is what I would say. But yeah, I think for me, it's nothing other than Jesus. Like it just comes down to it. I mean, if I didn't have a relationship with Jesus, I think I'd be in a lot worse spot when I have moments like where I am right now, where I'm not performing to the level I would hope to be. So just being it like having that relationship where I'm in His Word every day, and it's just such an encouragement because God says I'm so much more than a runner, and so yeah, that's just where I put my hope and my faith, and yeah, so I know a lot of listeners probably don't have a relationship with Jesus, but I would encourage you to at least check him out. Like he said some pretty cool things, and I think there's a lot of evidence to say that what he's saying is true, and so I think everybody, whether you believe in him or not, should definitely at least give it some thought and consider it, because I think if what he says is true, if he is who he says he is, I think it's a beautiful thing. And if you can, by the evidence, make a determination that it is true, then yeah, I would definitely heavily consider a relationship with him, because it frees a lot of burdens in life. So
I've never known someone who goes down the deep rabbit hole of exploring truth who hasn't come up on the truths of Christianity. So
yeah,
I challenge you, DM me if you actually explore truth to the fullest and you don't come out with that.
yeah,
I'm not just saying this to say this. I know of zero people who have gone down the rabbit hole of exploring truth. I sent you that reel yesterday, I think, but there's more
yeah.
evidence for the crucifixion of Jesus than nearly anything that we learned in history
In
growing up.
history,
Yeah.
the amount
So
the amount of evidence for Jesus is like I think
insurmountable.
100 times more than Alexander the Great. I mean, it's unreal. And Alexander the Great's in like every textbook in history for middle school history or whatever class you learn about Alexander the Great. I mean, it's like it's kind of insane when you do look into it. There is a lot of evidence, and I think it's super cool. Even if you don't accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, I do think it is worth your while to at least see what he had to say, because there is so much evidence for what he lived for, what he said, what he taught. And a lot of it is great stuff, just life advice in general, like
Yeah. Love your
Christian or
neighbor as
not.
yourself. Not a
Yeah. I
bad,
mean,
we
like,
could use more of that.
yeah, exactly. Like, in a world like today where everybody's so divided and at each other's throats, like, we need more of that. And yeah, just how he defines love too, as sacrificial. Like, dude, we live in a very selfish world. Not a lot of people are willing to sacrifice much of anything, if at all. And he was willing to sacrifice his life for us, for eternal life. So I think that's a pretty strong form of love, I would say.
Completely different subject, but you know what I fidget with? I'm going to get people to actually click on YouTube or the Spotify to watch what I'm about to show. But you know what I fidget with on podcasts these days? Such a random,
I need to know.
you'll know. You're the only person who will know, who will understand.
Dude,
The
I
pen.
was there.
Shout out,
I was
Jack.
there. Shout
Well, it's
out,
just so
dude.
fun. It's so fun to do this, to like take it in and out.
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
addicting. Anyways,
Yeah.
back into the podcast. On a more real note, I think both things can exist, right? Like you can both find your grounding in Jesus and fulfillment in Jesus and
Yeah.
fall back to that while also taking extreme ownership and wanting deep, big things in the sport. And I
Yeah.
think some Christians think it's like one or the other. And it's like, well, I don't know if any champion, a Sydney McLaughlin, I feel like does a better job on
She does
this
a
than
great
almost
job.
anyone else, where it's
Yeah.
like she cares so much. But
Yeah.
there's also a sense of security without it that she can walk
Yeah.
away. And I think that's a really healthy perspective. Like it's not a bad thing to want medals, to want PRs, to want accolades, as long as you're not placing your worth in
No.
those things.
Yes. 100%. 100%. Yeah, because she's, I mean, probably one of the more competitive athletes out. Like she wants to win badly. Like she's very competitive, but she also is very outspoken about her relationship with Christ, and I think that's super cool and admirable. I've always had a lot of respect for her and how she carries herself. So yeah, it's been super fun to watch her and her success and her humility in it too. I think is incredible. So yeah, super cool.
Wrapping this one up, I know we could go for many, many more hours, but
Oh, for
you
sure.
got places to be. I got places to be. This one was packed. This one was great. Final takeaway piece of advice for the listener. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Leave it there. I was going to ask you part 2, but that should suffice.
No, that's good. That's a great question. I think, yeah, be grounded. Like Dominic said earlier, just stay in the present. I think a lot of times we focus a lot on the future and what it holds, but in a lot of ways we don't have control over what happens, but you do have control over what you can do in the current moment. And so taking each day at face value and what it is and what, like for me, what God's provided for me with each day and making the most of that. And then, down the road, things come together. So yeah, just staying grounded, being rooted where you are, the people that you're with and invested in, continue to, invest in relationships because yeah, when I guess this is kind of deep, but like when you do get to your deathbed, because it's going to happen for all of us at some point, I don't think you're going to lay there and think, oh, I wish I had a nicer car. I wish I had a nicer house or
I wish
any
I ran
material.
faster at the state
Yeah,
meet
like,
my junior year.
yeah, exactly. You're not going to lay there and think, oh, dude, I could have run faster at the end of Nuttycombe. Like I didn't have it in me, but I should have squeezed a little more out. But those things, anything material, it just you're not going to care about. So I think relationships are so important. So tell those you love that you love them, and yeah, just continue to be present for sure. I think that's the biggest thing.
And Colts are going to win the Super Bowl.
Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. It's happening, guys. Indiana Jones, MVP, or Jonathan Taylor. Guys, the offense is clicking. We scored 40 points multiple times this season. We have the most efficient offense. Our punter isn't even on the stat sheet.
Dude,
If you look it
if
up,
it's
because
Colts
you have to.
Packers, I'm flying Kole Mathison, Cameron Todd, and myself. We're
Dude.
going to get in a room. We're going to live
It'd be
stream.
legendary. It'd be
It would
legendary.
be. Cole, final question for you. We're in fall.
Yes.
Give me one Kole Mathison fall recommendation. Favorite drink, favorite movie, could be The Leaves. Like, pick one thing that you love most about the fall.
I just love the temperature. Oh, the temperature for runs is awesome. And
Okay, let me add on. I'm a big Hoka boy because I work with them so much. They did not pay me to ask this, but this is a good weaving in of Hoka. One fall product from Hoka, non-shoe.
Dude, what I'm wearing right now.
Okay, the Foot Locker Classic 23.
The Essentials hoodie.
TJ Maxx edition.
Oh, dude, yeah, we were wearing these.
We were.
Dude, I have, I think, 3, and then I have the crew neck. Oh, that's tough too. The crew neck's also great, but anything just a thick, cozy, fall, it doesn't get better. It is that time of year, so get yourself one of these. You need it.
It'll make life better.
It will.
Won't make you fulfilled, but it'll make your life better.
No, it'll make life a little better, but you won't be laying. You will be laying at your deathbed. I should have gotten the Hoka hoodie. You will be there saying that.
Put that on a t-shirt.
That's right.
Great marketing right there. Can you imagine you go on like a Hoka website to buy the tee and it's just like that quote, and it's like said by a Hocker user.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. Anyways, Cole, thank you so much for this conversation. Our conversations never feel like podcasts. Brings me back. Real ones know 11 p.m. Grassfield in Eugene, but podcast format. Always appreciate our discussions. Always inspired by you. Always learn from you, and keep crushing, man. You'll turn this ship around soon. You'll turn it around.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Love you, man.
Thanks,
appreciate
Tom.
it.
Love you too, man. Appreciate it. Stay blessed.